Beitima, Beitigilfir, Beitigigane, pleadeth, freethum, annoyeth, be.
Hi, I'm Josh, and welcome to the Witches Brew book tag. Okay, so today on Tag Tuesday, I'll be doing the first of 5 tags for Halloween, all made by Bree from the book Booktition. No, damn it. Okay, I didn't really have a good witch costume. This one, very simple, was actually inspired, including the introductory music, by Halloween Town. If you recall, Marty sometimes wears a cloak-like thing, and of course that song is from the first Halloween Town where they try and light up that glowy thing. So this is composed of several different questions, all themed around witches, hence the witchy costume. The first one is named 5 well-known witches in 10 seconds. I promise I'm not thinking about it. The Hallowells, the Sandersons, Marty from the Halloween Town, Marty's grandmother, Marty's sister. I can't do this. God, that was terrible. Clear, I could have just said Phoebe, Piper, Hallowell, and the Sanderson sisters, which would have been, I always forget them, so maybe I wouldn't have worked out. Oh, and Willow, fuck me, Willow from Buffy. I knew the question was coming. I tried not to cheat, but at the same time I knew it was coming, so why didn't I do better? I was sure I was going to do better. Oh my god, Harry Potter or Hermione Granger. Okay, let's just keep going. What is one ingredient used in a witch's brew? Hive of newt, I guess. What is a witch's brew? What is your favorite spell that you found in a book? Technically, the Book of Shadows is a book, even if it's a book full of DVDs from Charmed. And there are quite a few spells in here that I love. There's one that I never let go. It's from the show, from season 1, Outside of Time, Outside of Gain, no only sorrow, no only pain. There might be more to it, that's all I remember. I love reciting that for some reason, probably because it's just about torturing someone, cursing someone. The one that I really like, though, is the blood to blood one. I think it's here. If I could turn back time. The call all switch. Power of the witches rise, course unseen across the skies. Come to us, we call you near. Come to us and settle here. Blood to blood, I summon thee. Blood to blood, return to me. This is when she's crying because Prue died. But actually, the one that I really want to go through here is the one that I never forget about, even though those two are very memorable to me. The number one spot here has to be apart. Well, this is no fun. Trapper. That's the spell from Halloween Town 2. And while it's simple and dumb, and honestly, I didn't even like the spell when I first watched the movie, but it's the spell that's lasted forever in my mind, because literally every time I spell apart or a part, I always think of that spell apart. It's always there. Every time I spell that word, I think of Halloween Town. So when it comes to favorite spell, it has to be apart. Even though that's not from a book, I don't care. That's the winner. Name a book that has a green cover. For this one, I'm going to go with Fearful Symmetries by Ellen Datlow. I loaned it out to a friend who has moved, and I do not have it back yet. Hopefully I will eventually. I really like this one. It's a horror anthology, and while it's not witch themed, there were definitely some dark supernatural things going on here, some satanic stuff that could be probably alluded to witches. I love this book. My favorite Ellen Datlow that I've read so far. If you could have a tea with a fictional character with magical powers, who would it be and why? Well, this one's hard, but I have a few answers. I hope that's okay. The first one is going to be Buffy or Willow for obvious reasons. You might say Buffy's not magical, and I say yes she is. She's the fucking Slayers. Then there's Willow, just because she's Willow. I mean, oh, why do I need a reason? It's just they're them. Then the other ones would be, it's one of the gods from American Gods. I think part of this really comes from the TV show, particularly the one about Media, played by Gillian Anderson. I really want to meet the goddess of Media, even though she would terrify me in person just because it's Gillian Anderson. So yes, please. What is your favorite TV series or movie that has witches? Well, this is hard. Charmed was the first TV show, drama serialized show that I ever got into, and I was obsessed with it. And while I don't love it as a quality show anymore, it still is very sentimental to me enough to keep investing in it. I even started buying the Blu-ray upgrades of it. But I would probably have to go with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, just because, again, this is one of my favorite shows of all time, next to the Golden Girls. These two are my top shows of all time, and I absolutely love it. I love the magic in here. I love Willow. I love the magic in general. It's just delightful. I will never get tired of that. Name 2 witches of color in either a book series, movie, or television show. And for this, I'm going to go with Marie Leveau, who I know technically is a voodoo practitioner. I'm not sure if that's quite the same, but you know what? It's very similar, at least in the American Horror Story adaptation. She's basically a witch there, so I'm going to count that. And then it's going to be Queenie, also from American Horror Story. So that's from TV. The other one's technically from literature. And then Margot Hansen, who is from the TV show The Magicians, as well as the book. And while she's technically a magician, I'm going to count it. I love me some Margot. She's fantastic. If you haven't seen The Magicians, by the way, phenomenal show. I'm so sad that it's over. What kind of witch or warlock would you be? I wasn't quite sure what question this was asking. I would go chaotic neutral. All powerful, personally, that's what I would love. Otherwise, I would love to be the ability to travel through space and time, not just like teleport from one spot to the other. I want to be able to teleport through the axis of time in space-time, which I know is kind of a technicality, but I feel like if you can travel through space, you should be able to also go through the axis of time. Basically like Hiro Nakamura. That's his name, right? From Heroes. That was my ideal power right there. I had this idea when I was younger, actually. Telekinesis, where you can move things in your mind. What is telekinesis? How does it work really? And if we think of it as a power that basically manipulates space-time to basically create a gravity field, imagine you using telekinesis to warp space-time, like a black hole would, until it's stretched to the limit until it rips, and you basically have a rip in space-time that you can travel through and come out at a different point in space and time, all because you can move things with your mind, which is technically just warping space. If I was a writer, I would use that idea. I've had that idea for like 10 years now. I've yet to use it because I just don't have the patience to write a novel or even a short story. But I feel like with telekinesis, you could do that. It's kind of like with the movie Chronicle, where they had telekinesis, they learned to fly. Because you can do so much with telekinesis that people do not make use of. Because you should be fucking flying if you have telekinesis, obviously. Maybe you don't do everything they do in that movie though. It gets kind of dark. Bonus. Describe an alternate character development in regards to your favorite magical fictional character. For example, in Practical Magic, instead of 2 sisters, both sisters have a twin sister in an alternate universe who were evil with no children. I don't think I've seen a movie, so I really should watch that movie and read that book. I honestly really want to. And so obviously though, for this one, I have to go with Willow and Tara. I want Tara to live. There's no reason for her not to live, and I'm pretty sure the fact that she died is really a bad decision in a lot of ways. So obviously Tara survives and Willow joins her. Maybe, I know people hate season 6, but I love Dark Willow, so I would say let that happen, and then something happens and she gets brought back to life. Kind of like, well, maybe not quite like Buffy. Maybe instead, when she's set to die, you like go back in time and you pull her from that point in space-time so she never gets shot in the first place. And I mean, it might have some paradoxical things, but you know what? That's a fucking good storyline in my opinion. I love time travel. I love paradoxes. Make it happen. Make it happen, and I'll pay for it. I'll produce the whole thing with my tens of thousands of dollars of debt from student loans. Oh, and that's it. That's the Witches book tag. Ooh. There are 4 more book tags that I'm going to be doing, 1 a week, hopefully, and this is the first of many. Thanks again to Bree from the Lock Petition. I got the name right now. This was a lot of fun, and I'm excited to do the others. I'll catch y'all later. And until next time, think of something magic-y. Probably a spell for this. Damn it. Not a single spell in here to teleport, so let me just position myself outside of time, outside of gain. No only sorrow, no only pain. Oh God, I'm dying.
Outside of time, outside of gain. No only sorrow, no only pain. It's what you deserve.
This is not the end!